ما ادري ليه احس اللعبة مرة مألوفة، كأني قد لعبتها قبل وشفتها قبل. كيف جهاز احد من قلبي. اي والله ما ذكرتني مرة برواية الجريمة والعقاب. هل بالغلط انا ضغطت سكيب؟ ما اعرف، لمست بس اليد على طول راح. Reduction space icon appears each time you find a new clue. طيب ايوه قاعد يقرا الرواية. ايش في؟ غريب الاطوار بدأ.
هولمز.
اوه انا بلعب واتسون. صاير اهبل.
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes,
La
of
blah.
course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
تجي الحين. Policeman. Lestrade.
Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can
Billah.
see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
بالله جاي تهاوشة على هذا من تهاوشة على طلق النار. حلو.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
أحسن
It's the
هزي.
only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
إيش شرطي
Am
من
I
ضدك؟
the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
أظني قد
Has
لعبت
the
اللعبة.
investigation already
يعني
begun?
ما أتذكر إلا The
Yes
Black
and
Daughter.
no. In
The
fact,
Devil's
this crime
Daughter.
is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join
ما
me down
أتذكر
there.
هذه أبد.
Give me half an hour to prepare,
بس
Inspector.
مألوفة.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
إيه مرة مألوف. Woodman's Lee, Baker. Select اسمه السود. بديت أتذكر. إيش في هنا؟
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
تذكرت.
You go
الدم
along
كان
to Peter
يتكلم كان
Carey's
روبوت.
house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the
متوترس بس.
mess you've made here.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
ما ألومك. لا تقول دمه. يلا نعطيه البدلة. شي مقفل مقفل مقفل. بس عندنا كاجوال سوت. هذه الجري سوت حلوة. ميك اب تيبل. الله صح، ويتنكر سايكو. تقول شبه اللعبة صارت منظور الأول. اسمح لي واتسون أتلقف.
This is where I keep my post.
بالله مطعون.
My archive. I can always consult with.
أبغى أشوف الكتاب. ما شاء الله شلته. واتسون مرتب. يلا بس. نيو أظن أتذكر. ما أظني كملت اللعبة. في مكان وقفت فيه ما فهمت إلا ولا عرفت.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
بالله بس هذه المعلومة. Evidence required. يعني يمكن أجيب جزمة هنا وأتقايس. طيب إيش بعد في أدلة؟ طيب garden.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
تذكرت كان دايم الشرطة تقولين دايما يقولون مستر هولمز مستر هولمز، ما يقولون أي كلام ثاني. نقول على الأقل إنكم معجبين شيء. لا مستر هولمز. شو هذا أكيد بيقول نفس الشيء.
Mr. Holmes?
حتى الصوت نفسه مستر هولمز.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My
طيب
condolences,
استجواب.
Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before
يمكن
passing
هي وحبيبها
out.
قتلوه ما أدري.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Suspicious.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, how do you know about that?
يا ولد كيف طيب قال كيف عرف؟ وش بليمث؟ او ماي جاد. هذه افهم.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth.
Oh, صح
I
لي.
believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
الحمد لله. الحمد لله جبته صح. اوكي. ندور البوت. السلام عليكم. اقدر ادخل هنا افتش؟ اوكي. ممكن تمشي شوية بدل ذا الثقل. عجل علينا. ايوه كذا. راح اشوف الكابن الحين. ها ايش هذا؟ نفس الإيفيدنس. اوكي. ايش
Peter
تبغى؟
Carey's body is inside the cabin.
ما غيروا شيء في
The
الجثة.
door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
مشخط. ايوه.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible way to die.
هذا البوت. ايوه.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. the ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
أيوة هذا كأنه شيء هنا.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
مساكين الحيتان. كوبين كان يشرب مع أحد يعني.
Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
ها ما شاء الله tobacco.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
بالله. لا يا شيخ. هو على شكل سفينة. أيوة الله الألعاب الخايسة ذي. سكيب أمه.
This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
The
weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
إلا كان يدافع عن نفسه بالسكين.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
فكه.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood.
خلنا نفك.
These abbreviations mean something, but what? Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
بقيرة قرأس.
The Sea Unicorn.
أبو شوف الصور
She was the
هناك.
ship that Peter Carey commanded.
commanded. وأيوة الهاربون من هنا، هذا هو.
The murder weapon was probably taken from this rack. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
خذنا كل شيء، يلا deduction الحين. related. طيب عشان النوت بوك.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
اوكي بس خليني اروح اجرب المقاس حق البوت.
These boots don't match the footprints.
يب يلا الاستراد.
Well, Mr. O.
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha. So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching...
هنا يعني ولا وين؟ يلا نبدأ الخطة. طيب
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
اوكي يلا. يا ولد. وين أسري؟
Mr. Holmes?
لو رحت كاري's cabin.
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in.
هذه اللعبة، هذا عيبها انك تدور 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 ولا تدري وين. وهذا الكابن حقها، كوخة هذا.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be. But he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
بالضارب أنا معك، بالضارب. رحت الكابن حقها، ما أدري إيش تبغى.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
خلاص هنا، أيوة.
Did you hear that?
وش ذا؟ لحظة، صوت القرآن عالي كذا.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
الشرطي ما كأنه يبغى يندس. شوفني.
Hold it right there.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
ليش كفوفك
Shall
كذا؟
I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
Wait.
What? But you can't. I'm not... It's a terrible mistake.
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Wait.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
كفوفة كانت مجرحة. هذا اسمه هنا.
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes. Mr. Oh.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help
Mr.
you?
Holmes.
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes.
Ugh. وين الإيفيدنس روم؟ أيوه.
These are the suspect's belongings.
صدق أخذ هذا زي ما ذكرنا النوت.
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what? And partner, 1883. To my friend, from R. Dawson. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
Dawson. ها. هذه ألقاها في الأركايف اللي في بيته. الشقة.
Locked.
Locked. هذا هنا إذا كان جثة صح؟ ما جابوها لسه؟ إيش ذا مسكين؟ هنا هو الورق.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it?
بالله يا
I did not
كذاب.
know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
يده مرة مجرحة. شو بعد؟ شورت سليفز. ايوه كأنه سارقها.
The police seized this valuable ring from
وإنه من
you.
زمان لابسها.
Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Never mind.
أنا أوريك، اصبر علي. بجيك.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please let me go. I'm innocent.
اركض. بروح الاركايفز بس. بروح البيت. وين؟ ايوه. نفتح الاركايفز اشوف مين داوسن. ايوه. ايوه.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
هنروح عندها الحين. لا. من جد. اصبر. اوكي خلاص. روح الحين للسكوتلاند يارد واستجب الولد ذاك. مستر هولمز. يلا.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht. Just a few days before an arrest, he left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and every...
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. So, Mr.
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working, I can tell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing.
اسكت. لازم الحين نرجع الديرة، البيت اللي في الجريمة. هذا جابوا جثته ولا لسه؟ نوب، ما جابوها. يلا نرجع نسوي التجربة بالهاربون. ان شاء الله عشت الفوت برنس ما راحت للحين. هات.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
طب وين اسوي الاكسبيرمنت هذه؟ يا شيرلوك وين اسوي التجربة دي؟ لازم يعني انا اقرا افكارك ولا ايش شيرلوك؟ يعني وش اسوي يعني؟ روقة ما كان زوجك.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
حسك متواطئة. لك دخل. شكلي باخذ البيت أجل. بيقول واتسون What the hell are you doing؟ بيطير عقله. معلش واتسون الله يصبرك والله الله يصبرك. أصلا كيف دخلوه العربة ومعاه الهربون ده.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British... A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before, on the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter.
إذا أخذته فعلا نمسي. Whitechapel butcher.
Well, here we are in the preparation room.
To indulge myself in a little experiment.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
طب اسكت.
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
بقعد يسوي لي يسهل لي كل مرة شوف.
Holmes, you should try to aim better.
أقول أسكت. أنا أكره إنه يدوخني كذا يتحرك.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
واتسون واتسون الله يصبرك. والحين وين نسري يعني؟ اوكي نروح نفسها المنطقة البيت حقه. أيوه هنا.
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. This is the crew. This is the crew list of the Sea. Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign. The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship.
ما في أدلة جديدة.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the sea. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detective. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
بسم الله علينا. غير حرك. شيرلوك الوسخ تراقب النسوان.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me.
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, as his father is the coachman of a...
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see.
As all.
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley.
Interesting.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee.
Do you have...
Yes. He refused.
Let us...
Oh, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest... Of course. It's in the evidence room. At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
breathtaking.
يطقطق بعد. breathtaking.
These are the suspect's belongings.
هات هذا هات.
Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5. The stains are... A pen.
حبيبي بروح أولا هنا أشوف إذا هو نفس الآثار ووقتها أقدر أستجوبه بكامل الأدلة اللي معي. شوف الرسالة هو في البيت. وات؟ أوه صح، بروح أشوف الآثار ثم بروح البيت أشوف.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
بالضبط. أنت الجاردنر يعني ها؟ طيب. يلا نشتغل على المكتب.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that...
عصص.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
طيب أول شيء الأزرق. بعدين هذا. بعدين هذا. بعدين هذا.
No, something isn't right.
بسم الله
I
عليك.
need to start the reaction from the beginning again. First
اشرح.
condition. All 7 reagents
طب السبعة
should be
لازم
used.
كلهم نستعمل.
Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent.
لا لازم
Third
بعد الأزرق
condition.
يكون مباشرة. طيب.
Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
طيب يعني اورنج، اقصد بلو، بعدين اورنج، ابلع، بعدين colorless. يا كلب. طيب خليه آخر شيء، دلوعة. ايش فيه؟
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
طب أنا بحط يعني هذا أولا، خلاص.
No, something isn't right.
أخيرا.
No, something isn't right. I need to...
باي. كان الزوجة اللي قالت اقتلي ذا الزوج، اقتلي.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
طيب وين أقدر طيب أضبط هذيك؟ من هنا من الأركايف؟ لا.
This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
طيب كيف؟
A new suspect, but this one refuses to talk. This case is more interesting than I first imagined.
يلا ما لنا نرجع الحين، معنا بدي أعرف هذا كيف أقدر أضبطه. نستجوب. عندي شيء هنا. أحس الأوراق هو اللي خباها، فعشان كذا قلت missing box. I hid them well، فيمكن هو اللي خباها. What?
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told.
Could you at least tell me who you are? And
My name is Liam Hurtley. That...
Well... Tell me, Mr. Hurtley.
Woodman's Lee?
لا
I've never
كذاب.
been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof?
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's not...
I will check that.
وش ذا؟ ها، شكلك عارف الزوجة. ايوه الجاردنر.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments, but the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me.
That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads. But now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee. These are the suspects.
وش ذا البرد؟ روح الحين.
locked.
فكي لي الباب.
Does the name Leah...
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
كذابة، شفت بعد بصرها على طول.
Madam, we have...
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here.
Haha.
Let us see what is in this box. Bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship.
I knew it.
That is interesting.
والله زي ما توقعت الجاردنر وهي. يلا ايش رايك تصارحيني؟
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the...
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after...
Well...
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
I'm sorry.
Leave me alone, please.
ما أدري إذا كانت دمرته مسيح بس نقطة ضعفي. أوكي ممكن تحرك الأدلة شوية. أيوة. يلا نروح نصارح ليام. هو يدري اني خليتها تبكي. Oh my god.
I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find...
طيب بعدين ويجنز حنروح نستجوب بعدين نشوفه.
I'm not saying another word. I'm not saying another word.
طيب خلاص انت انفضحت اصلا. ما تبغى تتكلم؟ مع السلامة.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list.
Well done. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This is interesting. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Pat.
Good job, Wiggins.
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
بيضحك حلو.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
عليك شكل. الحشرات.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
اوه إذا هو معضل فروعة. ماني فاهمة الصراحة. أضغط بوش ولا restrain ولا وات؟ ايش رايك سكيب وبس؟ خلاص. زعل.
You were lucky. I
Temperatures.
wasn't focused. Let's go again.
يعني حبيبي سهل مرة ترمي الهاربون. يع
I'm ready to...
Fine. If you want me to...
facial expressions. إذا push restrain idle. طيب. أخي وش ذي اللعبة البطيئة؟ والله مليت آخر مرة ما عاد أبغى ألعب.
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you...
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down.
Not all that much.
Oh, well.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner? Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to...
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumours about that one.
He was the worst of them all.
Oh.
He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took them...
مين هو؟
And who was it?
I don't
أبو
know.
الولد ذاك صح.
During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it.
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco?
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab.
Maybe.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Easy. Huh. هل أروح سكوتلاند يارد؟ I don't think so. Feel like he's innocent. Innocent I mean. أحس له دخل. خلينا نشوف نفهم أكثر عن الولد ذاك. غيروا لي اللبس حلو. ما جابوا الجثة. خلاص اوكي ما بنجيبها أبد.
What am I doing here?
I'm not saying another word.
All evidence.
These are the suspects. I wonder if these are connected.
أيوه.
No, that's not.
CP.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
ما أقدر استوعب واحد منهم. أيوة.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what...
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose.
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. These papers, they belong to my
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
I'm not saying another word.
هلا. الحين جاية لحظة.